You know, everybody does have a different opinion on hockey, and I completely understand that. I completely understand different people's perspectives. But for one thing that I just don't understand is people that are almost too conservative with drafting. And I think that might be because they view it from a perspective of, oh, you can get burned with that draft pick. You know, everybody remembers the Ryan O'Reilly, the Patrice Bergerons, the David Pasternaks, these guys that were selected late first round, second round. I understand the list goes on, but nobody remembers all of the players that are selected and just never make it. Go to a draft like, you know, a couple of years ago, 5-6 years ago, and a lot of those players that are in the late first round never make it. So I'm not trying to say that first round selections have no value. They generally do. What I'm saying is that you have to analyze the value of a mid first round pick, and the Montreal Canadiens have two selections, and you have to look at it like, should the Montreal Canadiens make a bold move, or should they keep those picks and say, no, we're going to draft the best player available? Now, we're going to have to see what happens on draft day. We don't know that for sure, and because there could be a player that falls in the draft. I also want to reiterate, though, that this year's draft isn't necessarily the strongest as well. And when I'm talking about that, I'm taking that into consideration as well, where at the end of the day, I mean, some drafts are just weaker. Now, it's weird. Some drafts turn out to be weaker drafts, and at the end of the day, there's still a number of like really, really good selections in that draft, but whatever. And honestly, it's good to see, in my opinion, that the Montreal Canadiens agree with what I'm trying to say, because today we're going to be reading off an article that the Canadiens could reportedly explore Carey Price's trade this summer, Price to offload his contract this season. This sounds like something that's probably going to happen. The article continues, it's the kind of topic that would have shocked all of Quebec 5 years ago, but today it's simply a matter of salary cap management. Don't be surprised, just like Shea Weber, if Carey Price's contract is traded this summer, and the reason is simple. His contract wasn't a problem for Quinn Hughes and Jeff Gorton while the Canadiens were competitive or not competitive. But now that the team is aiming for the playoffs and pursuing certain acquisitions, it has become a stone in Hughes' shoe. That's what I'm trying to say. So the Canadiens are clearly trying to compete here. And honestly, I really, really am interested. It's funny, they even got Line last year, so they were actually trying to be quite competitive in my opinion anyway. And this is more than just, this is obviously going around the NHL, but that it looks like the Montreal Canadiens are probably going to try to be aggressive this season. The article continues. According to Marco D'Amico, several NHL executives and insiders have said that Kent Hughes may be aggressive in this matter. He could be quite persistent in finding a trade partner for Price. The article continues, as well explained here, trading Carey Price's contract could open the door for Hughes to make a bigger move afterward. That's what I'm talking about. Keep Carey Price's contract would really tie Hughes' hands this summer. No LTIR is not the solution to everything for the Canadiens, which is a completely fair point. Now, the Canadiens owe Price $5.5 million on July 1st. After that, only 1 year remains on his contract, which could be useful for teams looking to reach the cap. That's set to rise significantly. That's another point. And during that year, he'll only be owed $2 million in actual cash. By trading 31's contract, the Canadiens would gain nearly $20 million in cap space. Would be excellent. And I want to mention another thing that's going up. The cap is going up to $113 million. Now, this is, to be fair, it is a little bit of an estimate, but $113 million. A lot of teams, we like Canadian teams, and you might be obviously are going to be a Habs fan. Our teams can spend to the cap, right? Not every team can do that. When the cap goes to $113 million, and let's be clear, it's probably going to go up even more after that because the league is doing well or whatever. That's going to be a huge advantage for teams. Not every team is going to be able to do that. So you're going to have a salary cap advantage, especially with getting rid of Carey Price's contract. This puts the Habs in a really good situation. If they can get rid of that contract, a great young core, be aggressive this offseason. They have the picks to be aggressive. I'm telling you right now, this is exactly what the Montreal Canadiens need to do. Now, more importantly, I want to know what you guys think. How many of you agree? How many of you disagree? Do you want the Habs to be aggressive? Do you want them to continue a slow, conservative type rebuild? I would disagree with that take, but that's just my opinion. The article continues. As for the price to pay, remember that the last trade involving Shea Weber's contract to the Blackhawks cost Utah 2 prospects, and they got a 5th round pick in return. So it could look something like this: Carey Price, Kidney, Hoffmeyer for a 2026 5th round pick. Would you do that? I'm saying resoundingly yes, absolutely. You should, quite literally should do that. And I just don't see many reasons to not compete and do a trade like this. Yeah, you're gonna have to bear the cupboard out a little bit, but your cupboard can't always be, full of prospects. And here's the thing. There are times where you're going to have to say, yeah, we're going to have to let go of a prospect that might actually be good. I'm a Leafs fan, for example. We let go of Fraser Minton this year. I actually like Fraser Minton. I think he's going to be like a good quality, I'm not really sure about a top 6 center, but you're going to have to do that. Not everything is going to work out in hockey. You just kind of give to get kind of thing. I would like to see the Habs get maybe a centerman. Their blue line could use to improve. I would wondering what they could do in goaltending as well. Like, I like Montembeault, but I think that they probably need to improve a little bit there as well. I see Montembeault as more of like a 1B, in my opinion. I don't see him as a solidified starter. I think that I like him a lot, but I would like to see them improve there as well. Drop your opinions on that, because, you need depth in every position to be able to compete for a Stanley Cup. And the Montreal Canadiens need to get bigger. No matter what you say, size still matters in the NHL, and in my opinion, it always will. Anyways, I am going to leave this video here. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that, guys, and make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.